This is Theme Park Thursday with Dillos. Diz, because you were, raised in California and you drifted back to LA and everything else. It's super fascinating to hear your time in Orlando now, doing Adventures in Wonderland, because here it's such West Coast, and East Coast, not New York, Orlando.
Orlando. Yeah, we all were trying to figure out how to get our cars there, because Rick decided he was going to rent cars there because it cost at that time I don't know, a couple of grand to put your car on a truck and take it across the country. What happened was my friend Patrick had a little white Miata at that time, and it was the last one to load. And it takes over a week for the car to get there. Well, the driver broke down and he drove Patrick's car to get help. I don't recommend. Eventually we all arrived and we all got situated in our apartments, and we had like a 25-minute drive to the Mgm Studios, which was there at that time. And
we still call it MGM, by the way, so feel free to just keep calling it that.
Just call it MGM?
Yeah, we call it.
We haven't changed the name in our heads, so it's fine.
It's nice to know some folks still remember the old days.
Yes.
Yeah, so I thought Orlando would have winter, but it didn't. So I spent money on clothes that I couldn't wear. The thing about my particular character was that because of my makeup and because it required 2 other puppeteers to be me, they tried to shoot me out in one day. So I went in for the readings on Monday. We read 2 scripts because we did 2 episodes a week. And then I would go in maybe Thursday or Friday. And one of my days was voiceovering a clay animation cartoon while the other folks were learning songs. So one of the things about it is that particular studio, those studios we were in, there were 2 of them, had a glass wall so that tourists could go by.
Right. That we were like, hey, look, hey.
Yeah. So we were an attraction as well as a TV show. And, they couldn't hear us, which is probably a good thing, because invariably I would start going, saying, the cattle are here. And so don't do anything lewd. Because the temptation is so strong when you're doing children's television. Everything that you do has to pass standards and practices. So you cannot improvise, you can't go blue, you can't do anything like that, which is part of, I don't know, the world of acting when you're an adult. But acting when you're a caterpillar is different. So that was awesome. So I didn't work as many days as the other guys. The point I'm getting to is that I hung out in the makeup trailer. I hung out in the makeup room, and I learned how to ventilate hair pieces. By ventilating, I mean tying individual hairs onto netting and making eyebrows, sideburns, mustaches, etc.
All right.
Ron Wild is an amazing makeup artist and designed all the makeups on the show. And at that time, he was living in Las Vegas and designing makeups for Excalibur and a bunch of other places. But fantastic work with latex and Pax paint and all of that stuff back then.
Yeah.
It was just the best place to hang out. The makeup and hair people are some of the coolest people on a set, especially the makeup people, and well, I guess the hair people too, because they have to invade your personal space. So you have to trust them, and they're great. I just love hanging with them because I love their craft too. Like for instance, ventilating. I had never seen one of these amazing magnifying glasses with a ring light around it. So you could look through it and not have to wear spectacles and tie hair, It's just like doing a latch hook,
right?
By the way. in case you want to take it up.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I could, but I mean, maybe do some research. It's almost been 10 years, so it's
and so that's how I would feel some of my time. The rest of my time, I would feel going out the back door of the studio, right onto the lot, to the theme park.
On stage.
And I would see, if it was in the afternoon, I saw a lot of pasty, sunburned, overweight parents just slogging along because they got to get it all done in one day. And the kids are crying and they're hungry. And I've never seen so many strollers lined up outside the studio, just like a platoon. And so where I would go more often than not would be the Muppets 3D movie, because it was a great attraction. It really was, and I didn't have to get on a roller coaster or anything. Like that. So
it's air conditioned. Muppets can't go wrong.
Exactly. Not so humid. Awesome. I also, took up photography at that time. I bought my Canon Rebel. It was a single reflex camera. Nobody knows what that is anymore.
But how long total to get you in the makeup?
The first time before he had all of his colors mixed, it was about 3 hours. And all of the pieces made. And then the thing was, it took about an hour and a half to get out of it too. Because this was this was a surgical adhesive that he used to put these pieces on. So that's an adhesive that they use to close up scars. So it has to have a solvent to dissolve it, which is called detach-all, which had kind of an acetone smell. So you really had to be good about moisturizing your skin. So apply the detach-all, wait for it to react, and then start rolling it off your face in little tiny balls, like latex. Subsequently, my skin started to break out down there, really bad sort of cysts. And I went to the locals and they said, "Oh, you're probably drinking our orange juice, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, man, I can't get enough of it. It's like a quart a day." It's like, yeah, stop that. Because, it's highly acidic.
Interesting.
And it was two other guys. It was two other people. Is there one in the middle arms and then one at the bottom?
That's correct. Well, yeah, and the first set of legs. Yeah. So there was one that was sitting like this with the arms out, and then there was one above that sat on a little stool, and he had this, and then I was leaning over a piece of PVC pipe so that I could have my arms be the same length as theirs.
Was this something brought to you that, hey, there's going to be this show in Orlando? How did it come about?
Oh my goodness. Well, I get this audition to audition for the Mad Hatter for this series for Disney. So I went in and I said, "No room, no room, no room." And they loved it so much that they wanted me to come in for the Caterpillar. So subsequently I came in and I did my Caterpillar, and they liked it. And then I think I went in a third time to read with one of the Alices. And then they did a screen test, which was really a makeup test of just the head. Because that head is a piece that ends right about here, all made of foam latex. And then Ron did a full makeup, and it felt like it was getting really close. And then none of us heard anything for like 3 months. And then they're like, "Okay, we'll put you on retainer for another 3 months." So it was like 6 months between the time we auditioned to the time it was time to shoot the pilot. And so that's how it happened. It never happens like, "Oh, we're doing this show. You want to be in it?"
Right.
Not for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So, was this the same time that Mickey Mouse Club was there? Did you guys overlap in those studios, or?
I don't believe we did.
No.
don't think
I wasn't
so.
sure if there was a year or so.
I don't remember any other shows being shot down there at that time. I may be mistaken on that, though.
Okay. And I know the exterior, the house was on the back lot, right? The outside of Alice's house, I think in the beginning credits.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. That's an exterior.
Yeah.
But the bedroom was on our set.
Right. Yeah.
Because that was
Adventures in Wonderland was Jen's morning cereal before school.
That's right.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love it.
Some Fruit Loops and some Adventures in Wonderland before school, living life. Yeah. It's good times.
Were you able to, if something came up, audition, like a role came up for you to audition for that was in California, were you allowed to do that during that time? Did you have to send tape? Because it was a different time.
Yeah. It wasn't really feasible for me at that time. So I think I probably told my agent that I'm booking out to do this gig. And it's conceivable that it could have been done, but people would have had to do a lot of shuffling for it to happen.
Right.
And you don't want to get people angry at you for, schedules colliding.
Right.
And making producers compete with each other.
And you did 2 a week. Was it split over the couple of years, or would you do like 10 episodes and then I don't like how many episodes in a period of time would you shoot?
I think our schedule, if I'm remembering correctly, was 3 weeks on, 1 week hiatus, and each week had 2 episodes in it. So it was 6 shows, then a week off, 6 shows, a week off.
Yeah. When you were out walking around the parks during your breaks, did anyone ever recognize you once the show was on the air and got a little more popular, or never?
Not one.
Never.
although some people about your age, after the show had done airing and everything, have looked at me and said, and then all I have to say is, hello. That reminds me of a story.
That's really funny.
No, and there was even I think our friend Tammy Tucky had footage of this. It was they did a stand-up of us, on cardboard, and me going, as I am in all of the prints. Slightly bemused and surprised.
Yeah.
No, and I know Jen, when I told Jen last week that it was coming to Disney Plus, she was like, oh my gosh. So we'll be all about it.
And of course, the cast, we're all on Facebook messaging each other going, did you hear? Oh my God, what does that mean for us? Are we going to, is it a new deal? Is it an old deal? What? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And, and the main thing, and I called the union and I found out about it and all that stuff. But the big thing that I'm getting to is that when you're in this career, you get paid in a lot of different ways. You get paid with great friends, great parts, great experiences, great audiences. And in this case, you get paid in the fact that a whole nother generation is going to see your work.
Yeah.
And maybe be their Captain Kangaroo, their, Miss Mary on Romper Room. They're like it was for you, the start of your day. And that's really touching.
Yeah.